Hello, everyone, and welcome back for some more ERUS action against TA, which is actually the person that, or team, I should say, that put them into the elimination bracket, which now, once again, facing off in said elimination bracket. How are you feeling about this, Native?
I'm going to be honest, ERUS have not looked super great into this matchup. I mean, no one has really into TA. They have remained the #1 seed in the entire of the FACEIT, only losing one match to Frosttails, but the Frosttails or Quick Esports they're facing, if they can beat this Titan, the favorites probably outside of Quick Esports to win the tournament. ERUS, they have a lot to prove. They're a very hungry team looking to make their name, go deeper into the playoffs. They know they have potential for it, but let's see what they do. They're starting off in their Queen look, very classical, historically look, has been really good for them so far, but TA shaking things up, have a lot of spam to look with ERUS. They have to be very brief with their engages, else they will just lose to the immense spam pressure from TA.
Indeed, they will, as they do have Jesper on the Genji since he is no longer able to play Venger, but immediately Sleek already right off to ripping heads off with the immediate headshot to the far, ripping her out of the air. And now Jesper trying to go into the backline, trying to get some sort of pick. Not going to be able to get much of anything as of yet until now. He's also taking heads, eating bread, but ERUS is just too strong starting out.
I mean, goodness gracious, yeah, it was an amazing start coming out from Sleek the headshot, but look how scrappy it is. So many trades coming back and forth, both are able to get back in time, but yeah, a lot of trades in the area setup will be a lot less defined here. The difference between these teams right now, like, as we said, ERUS have better angle control. Gucci we now own to the Tracer to the Farah instead. The Kiriko should really be able to help Sleek and Jesper be something more aggressive on the side, and while Lars has Grace sustained when they can get onto Tama. Tama will have the shield, will have the form. Make sure if that doesn't happen, he will be the one that outlasts everyone else on the field. Right now, Tama's sitting on the plate, start contesting the point.
Already running onto that point, Nemesis form engaged, but not getting much of any value. In fact, Jesper's once again into the backline, but off the map he goes. ERUS continuing the onslaught of domination, having almost 40% of their name already.
I mean, Jesper on fire, time for him to take a dip in the ocean, decide to cool off. Yeah, I mean, he will have the blade, though, another chance to redeem himself and continue this streak at home. He's been the one really making ERUS shine these last fights. TA to have a beat in Babel. Way behind is Alba compared to Volta. Swaps and Sunya Rush open things up.
Opening it wide open, trying to crack through this defense that is TA. Will they be able to do it? It's only a matter of time. Annihilation being unleashed. Will the purple hug be able to do much of anything? Not really, as Jesper getting the double kill with the blade. Looking for more. Won't really be getting much of anything more as the entire TA group is retreating.
Yeah, TA know now as well, looking at the point, they have to sacrifice someone to go to point. Probably Gucci. If ERUS are smart, which we know they are, they're going to try and take advantage of that. Make sure that Gucci touches the point and take the fight fast. But Lars still has his queen up. Volta still has to beat Alba. 20% behind. TA, Lawrence overhook is going to be the X factor here. There's the queen, only hits on the Tama.
Overclock getting immediately shut down by Sleek. Yeah, it does unleash multiple ultimates. Not too much of any succession, if I'm being honest. At least not for the time being. They do have the beat online. It is giving them the HP they need. Large falls very late in the fight. It's honestly looking like a very scrappy fight for both teams. But TA at the moment is on top.
Yeah, that super late beat from Alba. ERUS could have closed the fight out quick enough in time. But to be fair, they do force late stops, they do force panic ult. On the late stagger, it won't even mean too much. They have 99% now. ERUS as well had the Kitsune Rush. Will build up to a Blade pretty quickly. TA only really have that Annihilation to work with ERUS. They have the ability to just kite away from it. Lauren as well, over on to the Dwarf now instead. We're behind on perks, but we're much more disruptive for Jesper specifically to get the Aspect Tower out. You have to force the Torb even before they actually get a hit going. Right now, it's all going to be on Tama to hold strong and make sure this Annihilation gets maximum value. TA do not have a lot to work with.
Well, speaking of a turret, the turret has been destroyed, and now Annihilation has been unleashed once again. If they're smart, they will kite this, which in fact they will, kind of. Annihilation's still going, but not for very much longer. As Sleek once again railing people left, right, and center. He has Overclock online. Will he be able to do more damage to this defense? It is possible.
Gucci!
Jeez Louise! The double kill with the pulse bomb. Wait,
that's just absurd into this comp. He finds 3, even practically 4 at that point, and Gucci single-handedly turns that one around. TA played that really smart. They know the Kitsune is going to come onto point, and they can't afford to get the points. So what they do, they're the only person that can withstand the storm from the Kitsune Rush Tama with the Annihilation, and they get their win condition, especially now another one online. Tekuno's Orbital Ray, but Lars has a very good counter to that. The Blade, the Queen Ult, the beat all already. This is ERUS' fight to lose. Maybe an Ajax into Alba, so the Blade's going to be pulled first, and the first kill comes through onto Alba. No beat available anymore.
No soundtrack whatsoever, and ERUS once again taking the first, possibly taking the first map. Getting a little bit of a late kill on Sleek there, but the first map has been confirmed. TA drops the first sub map.
I mean, this is a really good start from ERUS. You know you want to have a strong start. Last time we faced TA was a 3-0 in their favor. They knocked you down here in the first place. You're not going to go up quietly. You're not going to let this go down without a fight. You're here for blood. You're here for revenge. And we know the history between these two teams as well. TA, this main roster, was also the roster from ERUS a fair few of these parts. Anyway, Gucci, Alba as well, playing ERUS Force. There's a bit of a history back and forth there. But right now, ERUS are looking to be the ones writing the history books here, the victors of that first sub-map. And Tama going to start back on this Ramatra again. Gucci on the far as well. They felt like that was a more effective hit. And Texel also going to be mirroring onto this unit. They feel this map is much more wide open. They want to give Lars an executors. Never mind, can stay on the Kuroko instead again. Playing more those aggressive angles, that more DPS potential. We'll have to see if it pays off.
Will it pay off? That is the question, and right about now it is going to be answered. Lars dropping just above half HP, is able to survive it with a little bit of sustain from his support. Both running in with his teammates, does be looking to get a possible pick on the Ramatra, but Ramatra is below half HP, but Gucci is also dropping in HP very, very rapidly. Honestly, ERUS just had a plain out aura diff there. They just walked onto the point like it was theirs.
Yeah, but now Gucci has such a good angle to work with on this side. Spam out. He needs to get shut down. ERUS, they're playing the faster comp. Needs to get a hit going. Longer fights will heavily favor TA. Beats equal on both sides, but tank ult's coming online soon as well. Right now, it's just absolute stalemate on the point. Who will be the one to step up? Who will be the one to break it? It's going to be Gucci again, that Farah, the spam ping off. But Sleek with another headshot. Maybe that's enough to turn the tide.
Might be enough. An Annihilation once again unleashed onto ERUS, and it will be able to secure the point for TA. Lars jumping off the map with the Rampage.
Okay, I mean, you forced out their beat there. You forced out the Annihilation with the 2-4-1 ult trades. Can't be too unhappy there. I mean, T-posing Tama maybe something to be much more concerned about, but you have the beat advantage here. You can go and aggressively beat. You know that when that Orbital comes out, as long as you flip through and they don't find a quick kill with Lauren's OC, you should be okay to win that out.
I mean, honestly, if you see a T-posing Tama running straight at you, you gotta be kind of scared, especially with Sleek having an Orbital Ray, getting absolutely deleted out of the sky. Sleek with the 150 charge overclock, by the way. That thing hurts like a son of a gun. And ERUS immediately taking the fight back into their favor, but they have to kill the Ramatra that is Atama, which they are surprisingly able to do quite quickly with no support.
50% online for TA. It's a pretty decent first hold, but the ult trade at the start, the headshot from sleep was just what you need. TA's only rule condition now is playing for Gucci's barrage, but it's been quite difficult to engineer. Maybe they'll check the fight inside left, try and bait ERUS in and let Gucci just assassinate Lars or something, but they do have to worry about the blade and the upcoming rush of Queen ult even from Lars. But there's the early aggressive blade slicing, but no dicing as Lauren takes his head off.
But Alba does drop. Volta not far behind him. Both Lucios have been killed, but Slink once again taking matters into his own hands, getting a double kill. Tim able to shut him down very late, but Tinksel is still alive, still kicking, possibly getting booped off the map. But Gucci once again just deleting Volta off to the face of the planet, and ERUS now have a map lead.
3v3 on the point there. The Queen ult goes only onto Lauren. The annihilation from Hammer now zoning out the backline. Lauren barely squeaks alive, 0 HP, but Lars now left on an island, trying to die on this point. Stall it, but can't even do that. Now ERUS slipping away from this fight when they do usurp the lead. Their name, PA, with his aggressive spawn hold as well, will be surely able to match that very, very soon as well. The beat advantage in their favor. ERUS have 2 ults to 1, but that beat, if they perform it correctly, could overpower the 2 if they can force Texel and Co off of this rush. But Sleek again, always the X factor with this overclock. Any headshot, open this up, and that's the whole of this fight shut down. There it is! Oh my goodness!
Well, you spoke it into existence, my friend. The headshot immediately ripping into the defense of TA, and Sleek just getting the triple, going through this team like a hot knife through butter. There's not much you can do to stop that.
A lot of the times we will gas up Jesper Swag. He is the more kind of flashy player on this team, but his partner in crime right now, making us eat our words, frothing in the mouth to prove us wrong. But double support ults available for TA, their own overhook around the corner. ERUS can't really afford to lose this fight. It's going to be on their own support ults to find equal value.
Kitsune
no!
is just about every single ult from both of these teams getting unleashed, at least support-wise, as TA now overclocking. Lauren getting the first kill of the middle of the fight, getting the second kill with the overclock, maybe even a third, unless Sleek is able to skadoodle-noodle out of there. He is not quite able to. And PA once again reversing the point into their favor, and I don't think ERUS is gonna get a touch here. Ooh. Never mind, Jesper getting the last second dash touch, but it won't really be very helpful as ERUS is just all miscombobulated.
Yeah, I mean TA just had the overwhelming ult advantage situation. The big factor there was Volta's beat not getting off in time to save, I believe it was just Swag, and only hitting onto 3 members. Lars also was not the recipient of that beat. I think everyone on the side of TA got Albers, and that was just enough for ERUS to get overwhelmed and just absolutely destroyed at the end. The ult economy got them, unfortunately caught them off guard right at the end, but 1-1, still super close either way the series goes. And also, I've actually just noticed the bans, I wasn't even seeing them come into effect. But I was going to wonder like where it's just Black Venture, but it's completely off the card. TA do not want to allow that character on this map. They know how devastating it can be. But now Jesper and Gucci going completely opposite direction. No more ground turf wars. Now it's going to be a dogfight in the air with this Fire Mirror.
This is the final stand.
I mean, what's more exciting than dogfights? Let's be honest here. Especially whenever you're part of it. And Jesper's saying, hey, that's my job there, pal. Already very muchly above him on the far ult side. Already at 15%, but didn't take long for Gucci to already catch up to him and actually pass him very momentarily.
This is a lot more of a mirror hit. Only difference is between these tanks. Lars has that kind of skill shot potential with the knives, has the big axes as well. Hammer a lot more consistent. Shout out from Lars. Can he find some kind of impact on the backline? Hammer though, Stone ERUS is being drained on Lars when he gets the bleed going. Can completely be super self-sufficient, while Albert requires so much pocket to keep alive. But no, even with the axe to slow the shot from Lauren, Lars is decimated.
Lars just gets quite literally annihilated. In less than half of a second, Tama just immediately rushing through this team with the Nemesis form. I won't lie, Tama hurt, especially in said Nemesis form. Those punches do not feel the greatest.
And importantly as well, he's able to like not just attack but also protect. He is so able to be so consistently standing there, even with Lars putting the full fury of his entire being on him. He's able to withstand. ERUS are playing the faster comp with this double speed with this queen, but right now the slow style of TA is winning them out, and Lauren able to take out Jesper again. The rush as well. You know, they're trying to clean this one up. And they're gonna get what, like 50-40% off of just this fight.
It's not the greatest look here if you are ERUS. You're playing a lot more of a rushy comp. You can't really be playing passively like you are right now, and a very, very late pick on Tixel is going to be a huge stagger.
Yeah, ult-wise, either way though, you will be up 1. TA will have 4 ults, you have 5. 5 is a bigger number than 4. Our top scientists have in 4 masters. In theory, Area should win this, but with Lauren and Gucci, they're always going to be deadly on the other side. But Sleek, so consistent before with the over. Can he find anything with it? Only beats exchange so far. And Volta gets caught out?
Ooh. And Gucci once again getting a double kill, just not being able to be shot out of the sky by Sleek. And they're hard staggering Lars here. Like really hard staggering. That is humongous for TA and not good for ERUS whatsoever. Now only having 2 ults online. And Volta once again blocked.
Oh, there's an overcook in the spawn, and I mean, this is just absolutely wraps at the moment for ERUS. No one can touch, no one can withdraw. A Queen out in desperation and frustration as ERUS started off super strong, but 100-0 on that last submap is not the kind of look you want to end your first point on. TA 1-0 up. They do spend a pretty important ban, to be fair, on that venture, but in the grand scheme of things, TA know the maps they can take areas to that deny that venture, but deny, you know, the style, the comfort of just the swag. And in the Bara Mirror, Gucci was just coming out on top. It was just not a fun matchup for them. And like you said, the rush style was also just being slowed down, hindered over and over again by Tama on the Matra. They couldn't get into their style of play by that 3rd point, and yeah, it was just kind of wraps from there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but whenever you're playing a rush comp, rushing is normally the way to play, and TA was just completely shutting down any chance of them rushing in. In fact, they were actually, if anything, staggering them severely, if I may say, as Volta dropping in that second to last fight first out of all people. Jesper not far behind him. Lars getting extremely staggered after the fight was even over. Was a absolutely humongous pick for TA, and ERUS just did not look the greatest in that 3rd sub map, but they still have 2 more maps to go.
Yeah, and I mean, it was close on both of our 2 maps, 99-99 on that 2nd sub map, and even at the end there, like if the Queen Ult can come online, that's pretty big. But well, there's gonna be no opportunity for Lars to prove the success of that here coming out. The Queen ban, Lars generally just kind of flip-flop back and forth between the Zarya and the Queen. It's felt like most recently his 2 kind of best heroes, and for good reason. Is Sigma as well, also pretty scary to face. ERUS though banning out Gucci from the Tracer. So they saw the impact that the proposal had, even when they ended up winning that round. They're going to decide, I think probably we might see the Zarya venture come out here, maybe a more kind of divey look from ERUS. TA, I think their Ram, you don't broke, we'll fix it. I think that's kind of the philosophy here. We'll have to see. Yeah, there's going to be the Zarya venture. And there's the Ramatra, yeah. It's business as usual at the moment, but ERUS don't want that, right? Like, they know in a fair fight, if they just kind of play at like level they have before, they will lose. They have to step up. They have to be leveling up here. They got the googly eyes buff for sure.
I'm not trying to laugh behind the scenes, but I'm sorry. Venture just looks goofy with those googly eyes on her. But either way,
Yeah.
ERUS, as per usual, running their very, very well-known Venture Zarya comp. And depending on how Tim is able to handle this on that Ramadra, could be a very show sign of how this second map can go.
Yeah, the main thing is gonna be this synergy, this dichotomy between Lars and Just Swag. If they can get Just Swag, the guided missile in with bubbles on this Takuna Alba backline, they will just fall over. They will crumple in the side. Look how deep Jesper already is. So much space is being created. But the background rotating away and taking the hit in the meantime. They know ERUS want to play a slower fight once the hits get going. But in the meantime, Lars has no energy. It's only Sleek that's able to strike back. Jesper's fall in the meantime, and this fight is long over.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure what's going on with Volta today. He drops first in that fight once again, and there's just not really much rushing going on here. Jesper was able to make a crap ton of room there for his team, just they were getting held down by Tama so much they couldn't really move.
Yeah, that's it. Those slows are just paying to pay into an Alba in the meantime able to take out Jesper Swag. That boot them aiming to deny any kind of dig away or heal the backline. TA able to rotate oh so much for the double speed backline, but Lauren, the ego there, Lars, I'm more than happy to punish that, and ERUS will be way back stronger, a lot quicker than Lauren will be able to re-emerge in the fray.
Ooh, the ERUS have now swapped off their common comp with the Venture Zarya, now have swapped to Farah Zarya. That's a very interesting swap, but luckily they are winning this fight very, very easily as Lars getting the triple, Jesper dropping very last, and Lars getting the quadra, just absolutely mowing through TA.
Yeah, I mean, Zarya is known for being a pub stomper. Once you get high energy, you can just decimate with your high DPS. But DA should not be allowing you to get this high energy in the first place. Larzo has a grab now to play with, have an overhook to work with. But this area of the map, pretty difficult to walk through in general, especially as your tank is quite immobile. But is there a point for that coming through? Lars is on the wrong side of the map, as is Sleek. It's a nice flip. Ooh, threading the needle is Sleek 1-2 for him.
Sleek already doing his normal duties, getting the double kill, starting out the fight. Annihilation going towards him. And honestly, the Hamlet kind of wasted Annihilation there.
Yeah, I mean, he does get the refresh on the armor, and now ERUS are back on the right side of the map. For them, it was a good flip there for DA to buy time. Lauren has a great high ground to work with, and also to shoot Jesper out of the air. As a direct as well from Gucci, and again, Jesper Swag just coming up short in their match.
I mean, it's kind of hard to beat a Farah versus Farah whenever you're not exactly the one getting pocketed as Lars. Poor guy just got assassinated by Gucci.
Yeah, living up to the current new name, Gucci. I'm not sure why this is the cat name we chosen with, but just popping in for a quick high, and Lars absolutely obliterated. Again, they still have this grab, and Tia have been building up to ults of their own areas. Holding on, they have to get something going. It's a rush to try and overwhelm Hammer. And a beat as well.
At the moment, TA has only invested in overclock. They still have the beat online, possibly album ready to be dropped. But it's gonna be kind of hard for Lars to walk with only 26 charge. Jesper getting out of there with his life. But Gucci getting eliminated first. That is a humongous pick. And Lars has a 100 charge. He is a lawnmower ready to eat some people alive.
Yeah, Volta finds the gap onto Alba as well. Point is not being pushed. It is now for ERUS, but they're more focused on knocking out some of these kills. Lauren, 1 HP, and Lars gets it right through the rush out as well. Jesper does get traded by Gucci. That's kind of rough, but they should get a lot of point progress here. I don't think a full cap to come through. I think TA can recontend this with Annihilation around the corner with Orbital Ray as well. And ERUS in a dry ult bank them to work with. Only Sleek's Overclock to change their fate here.
overclock is just about to be online immediately. Rip,
Ooh.
but Gucci dropping first is a humongous first pick for Teaksol.
Oh.
Now Sleek having the 150 charge, Volta getting the boop, and Jesper putting in the work as well. Honestly, ERUS is looking a lot stronger now. Holy crud, TA just has no answers as Sleek is just unstoppable.
Yeah, Sleek right now on that such a great spot on the higher ground. TA cannot afford to send anyone over there. Deal with him now. Overclock. There's so much damage, so much pressure to come through. No angles to work with. But the thing is, move over onto the map here. Once that lamp wants more frontline pressure to try and disrupt Lars. Hammer, me feeling a bit bullied at the moment by the immense pressure from Lars and friend. They could have big ults as well, but right now, the Annihilation to come out.
I mean, he is currently in the middle of getting annihilated, but Volta dropping the album, looking for his next Oscar, and Tama already getting absolutely annihilated compared to his ultimate. Holy crap, Lars is just walking at them like this is a public match, and these guys don't know what the heck they're doing. What in the world is Lars doing right now at 100 charge?
He's grabbed
In fact, he grabbed him and spawned! What in the tomfoolery is going on right now? As he's just not stoppable. He's simply just not going to be able to be stopped. Lord is running through people.
Goodness.
He's just running through people like an unstoppable freight train. What is going on here?
Zarya, like, it does really feel like the only team to make Zarya work this well is a team of Lars on that. Lars just absolutely putting on a whole light show for us there. Beams, blasts, graviton surges, all going on at the same time. And I mean, the April Fool's line for Zarya was what, like, you need a group hug. I think TA genuinely might need a group hug outside of the match because Lars was just bullying them the entirety of this point. And you think, you know the Zarya is going to come out on this map. TA built that whole kind of comp around it to deal with this style. It did not pay off in any regard, and ERUS is starting on it again here. I mean, why wouldn't you with that success of your attack?
If I may say, though, for TA, their comp is very, very pokey, which is really, really good for Lars, because anyone who's getting GM down by the poke, he bubbles them instant 45 charge. And there's not much you can do about that, especially whenever you have said Zarya running directly into your backline, already at 90 charge because he bubbled two of his teammates that are getting poked out, and they just don't get poked out. They simply don't get poked out.
Yeah, well, TA looking to make it a bit more brawly here with this Brig backline instead of the Lucio previously. Going to be sticking on the Mara still and this Sojourn as well. So have to see if the Brig will make the adaptation they need it to. ERUS, though, they're kind of watching the choke. They missed their first opportunity to strike. Have to pull back and play for this second kind of hitboxes around the point. ERUS being able to space, but Lauren gets up there alive.
Ooh.
Again, Sleek right now dominating the hitsgun matchup.
Sleek is just doing his normal duties, absolutely dominating, but Aguchi is right along with his Brigitte, slapping people in the face with rockets, and he's just not one to stop, as he is now the one running through people, getting the double kill, and Brigitte getting the slapperooski, if I may say.
Yeah, I mean, I know you love to see your Brig come into play here. Maybe a touch come through, but I think no, they're going to just choose to hold this close hold instead of maybe even the high ground. Here, the Brig allows for a lot more pressure onto Lars in the front line ball. You can constantly kind of pack Gucci up as well. You're really able to support your DPS on that sideline. And Gucci, with that free reign from those Brig packs, able just to pummel in constantly, super aggressive, put his mechanics on full display. ERUS, though, have a great position to work from, but a boot, though, never mind. I was going to say get disrupted, but never mind. He boots them straight into line of fire of Lauren, and Sleek even put in a down spot, still gets his one.
Sleek does win his first one, but Jesper winning the dogfight, even with a Brigitte packing the enemy Pharah. Sometimes it just takes getting into their head to win the duel, and on the Brigitte, it might just be helpful.
Yeah, ult-wise though, Tia are rounding up on a big bank to work with. Desperate holding low. They have a lot to do ERUS as well, but the early orbital Ray Lars just is evaporated on that one. No beat even attempt to be on Texel falls as well. That's gonna be fight win over and done with. They'll have to next take this fight on the main bridge area if they can get through this choke that TA now have to hold with their Annihilation, with the Barrage to work, with the Overclock, and the Rally to a very cheap fight win. The ERUS, again, 5 is bigger than 4, but there's that Barrage and it kills Lars again.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Lars might need to file a restraining order on Gucci after this because he is just getting assassinated time after time by these barrages. There's not much they're really able to do. But the rally shut down by Jesper.
Volta, again, only able to get 1 or 2 with the beat. Yes, it's enough for 1, but they expend 3 ults to lose a super scuffed fight and get staggered. No, let him go. He's just a boy. Exo finally gets the sweet release of death, and now Jesper is back on their venture, back on their shenanigans, shall I say. TA also have no ults to work with, but a 4-minute time bank is a pretty scary one. Even with ERUS, it's a very strong one. They do have a worry here. That massive time bank could be indomitable in the overtime rounds. They also have a grab to try and finally slow some kind of momentum.
I mean, but is it as scary as a Zarya grab, especially whenever it gets 3 inside of it?
Yeah, very well positioned there. Lars and Sleek. Sleek now on the Ashe as well. Knows that they can't really afford to play the more aggressive kind of positions that the Sojourn wants to play with. Also maybe finding that TA's backline aren't really letting them get the maximum usage of this of the rails. And also this Dynamite is an extra dive threat for Jesper and Lars to work on. So we'll have to see if that will be the adaptation needed. Jesper already setting up on a flank there in the back corner. As TA now advanced, you can see where ERUS want to hit. Can they get it off though? 1 bubble out. I just wait. You can see Jesper still lying in wait. There he goes in. Little land shock, finally getting their pick. Never mind. They come through by a lot of pressure.
Except for yoinking Tama into their front line. Holy crap, Tama is 1 singular HP. He finally dropped late in the fight. But Volta, or not Volta, Lars being at that 100 charge is very, very scary, if I may say.
Yeah, and I mean, it's currently looking like TA are building back in, falling back to sleep and waking up in a nightmare as Lars looking to bring back some PTSD from that first round. But TA have an orbital race, have an annihilation. There's nowhere for ERUS to run, so they have to stand strong. Maybe bring in Bob for emotional support throughout the Kitsune rush as well. They have a lot to work with, but if they overspend, it's disastrous. TA will be fine to lose the battle if they can win the war.
Well, there's the emotional support, Bob. We were originally talking about, will he be able to do much? Yes, he will. In fact, he helps Lars get the first kill as Lauren does overextend, but it won't be for really much of anything as the 100 charge Zarya is in the front line, ready to destroy, just like Jesper is running into the back line looking for someone to assassinate. He does see a Brigitte, and he has to run away slightly scared because Brigitte does not feel good whenever you are a Venture.
Yeah, Rally versus Rush. What a surprise. Rally wins. Last kills 3, and that's what you need. ERUS fans can breathe a sigh of relief as they have refortified their position. Crystal Spike yet again, setting up for an early hit on the flank. But oh my goodness, okay. Okay, Gucci wants to take out the prime threat Volta there on the flank. They both back around similar times, but now Jesper can't go so aggressive on this flank. They'll still go and try and force some resources. ERUS, they only really have to grab to work with TA. Their best chance, the only chance is Lawrence overclock. They're coming out right now.
Very, very early overclock, but it immediately gets shut down by an actually humongous Lars grab as he is just running at them once again, already at 80 charge. If TA wants to win these fights, they have to stop charging Lars, and it's just not what they're doing.
Lauren as well, moving over onto the Cassidy, maybe trying to find some more picks there. Yeah, feeling so she wanted to shoot the tank a lot to get your value, get your rails, but into Lars, that will leave you battered and beaten. So much pressure as well. Sleep putting up to a very quick another bob, but gets caught out by Lauren on the side. That could be the opening they need here, having the orbital to go in aggressively with her as well. And ERUS, the only ult online readily available, just got sent back to spawn room.
ERUS does have a Lars still ready and prepared. The emotional support Bob thrown in, also getting bubbled. So if they do try to burn it, Lars gets the charge, and he has 77 charge already. He is running through people like a hot knife through butter as per usual, and Lars is simply just unstoppable at high charge.
Yeah, now it's really going to be difficult for TA to get a retouch coming through. Only person that can maybe is Gucci, but he's already being poked and prodded out. Albo as well, getting on the beat. TA have a lot of ults. ERUS really spend a lot there, and they just lost. Where did Lars go? He was just on my screen. He was right there. It's almost like he is still there, but now the grab, it's gone. It's only going to be Jesper coming up on that atomic shot. They need to play for life. Lars come back. He have 3 ults to work with. The Sleek's gone down.
What just happened to Lars HP? That's the only question I need answered. And in fact, Alba dropping the beat late, but in ERUS's favor, they got them to overtime. All they have to do is capture this first point.
Like, what genuinely what just happened? I just watched all of Lars' HP bar dip instantly. I know he's poking early, trying to build some energy maybe. Trying to build up to that grab. He was 80% to grab, 80% tectonic shock. Even in the beat, TA, we're going to have a rough tumble inside of that combo, but yeah, that's just disastrous. It would have been a shutout now. It is still a guaranteed draw at the minimum, but the win was just there. It was literally just within reach. TA know they will have to defend only 1 tick on the point. ERUS had a pretty brief first attack, so you're not too concerned, but still with the quality of TA, you give them an inch, they might take a mile.
If I'm being honest, Native, I looked away long enough to take a small sip of water, looked back, and Lars was no longer there.
I saw it happen, and I'm like right in front of my eyes, and he was still gone. Like I was fully looked in, staring at him, and he still was gone. Like no one noticed, no one saw how. But yeah, it's a rough one. But back on what they ended off with there, the Ashe, Mara, and that Zari.
Now the question is, do they go for more of sustain since they do have 2 minutes to spare, or do they go full out push, rush into there, go absolutely deep as all being, and try to get Lars as high a charge as physically possible, as fast as physically possible? It looks like they're going for a little bit more of that poke style though.
You have the range advantage with the Ashe versus the Cassidy. Energy for Lars, but no bubbles. He's a lot of care to keep him alive, and he will. That's good. When they get a re-hit going, Lars will be high energy, and that's what you need to win this fight through. But Gucci coming up on a barrage, but Texel really quickly towards a Kitsune rush as well. That could be the winning factor, but he falls! The person you need, the pick you need, and Alba's found it with a whip shot of all things.
I mean, that flail does not feel the greatest when it hits you right in the forehead. But the even worse part is they had the win con right there waiting for them. Lars had that 100 charge, and Texel was just about to have Kitsune. They had the win in their hands, and they just let it slip with 1 pick.
And that lets TA build up to looking like full ults here as well. And Jesper falls as well. There's no time to get a regroup. But Sleep finds the pick you need. Equalize. Equal numbers of bolts has to live. Needs to get the beat online. There's a flanking Hass behind you. They'll take out him out. There's the orbital, but no one to use the ERUS. It's do or die. Beat out. Alba 1 HP needs to fall. They're on the point. Texel finds 2 or 3 that fight. And ERUS keeping it interesting. But they will make the match score equal 1-1.
You know what? Lars exploding just made it more interesting. They let it go a little bit longer, and in fact, they had a push there that just absolutely incinerated TA in less than a millisecond, which we're now just seeing Lars running through them like butter. And a high charge Lars is scary. What can I say?
Yeah, I mean, that's an understatement for TA. They saw the full effect, the full wrath of Lars coming out. They were just throwing the content at the end there. It's okay. Just make it nice and interesting. But yeah, even with the ult advantage, Sleek finding two big trades, the Bob to come out as well. The flanking cast gets nothing from Lauren either. So yeah, I mean, big plays to come out from Sleek there. Able to turn it over the line. They have now found a style that works. The Queen was struggling into the Pharah, but like you said, the Zarya is able to really benefit from that spam, benefit from the splash damage, make the Pharah think twice about getting maximum kind of value. And also, the Tracer ban is pretty smart as well. A lot of things that Jesper struggles with is marking the enemy Tracer, because like you see, when there's no Tracer online, he can go super deep, hide in a flank, get an early hit, get bubbled out. Great cycle for them. When there's a Tracer online, there's now a threat in your own backline that you have to worry a lot more about. Whilst Gucci had to go on the Pharah that sucked inside the spawn closed room, or the Genji that Tama and Volts were able to deal with very handedly. So yeah, great ban usage there as well. Really smart stuff coming out from ERUS' coach.
The only
I
problem
believe it's
now for ERUS,
Abish.
the only problem now for ERUS though, is they don't exactly have that Tracer ban to hold though. Now they have to win the rest of these maps with a possible Tracer on the enemy team, and Jesper has to be marking that Tracer. It's basically his job just to permanently make sure they know where he is, and doing that while also trying to get picks in their backline. Won't lie, not very easy.
Yeah. Generally as well, we will see if Jesper does mirror the Tracer, which is quite rare. Yeah, I think in all the matches casting, I don't think I've seen Jesper mirror the Tracer like once. Generally, he will be on the Genji or on eventually. He generally wants to just skip that, go, hey, Volta, what's now my job is now your job. Good luck, have fun. And just try and go kill. Jesper go kill is generally the plan, and let Lars really enable him. Basically, plays like an extra support that turns into the full-fledged main DPS once you get high energy. But yeah, I believe which map we'll go to will be quite interesting as well, because ERUS have looked really good on any kind of push map. So instead, TA will bring them over on to Dorado instead. We imagine we'll see Pingu come in to play the Brigitte for them here, looking like an honorable or somewhat honorable Arna Break Winston mirror, most likely. And the Widow ban as well here. Pretty interesting too. They don't really feel confident putting that mix, forcing Leak to mirror onto the Widow here. Maybe put them on the Ashe instead. Actually, never mind that. Pingu is not in to play the Brigitte as he normally is. Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. They're going to be running the Zarya still here. Generally, historically, this is a Winston Diva map. Even a bull map. A dive map. So the Targons to work with. But Arius on the Zarya, I mean, it worked on Icon World. This is when on Icon World or anymore. This is a very different landscape. TA sticking with their guns, going for the full dive here. Yeah, on Earth. Are we setting up for like a spawn camp? No, Lars is on the high ground, and what is going on? Someone explain to me what's happening here.
Call me crazy, but Lars does hard counter Diva here. I'm kind of curious why they went with a Diva ban over a Hazard ban. Hazard is also very, very strong on this map.
TA were the ones that banned Diva, and maybe now that Lars doesn't feel confident taking the Winston mirror. I mean, they have lost every other Winston mirror on this map, I believe. Evil Knight, not tech from my last to get like high ground with jumps, but it does mean that you have to play this map a lot more unorthodox without being able to easily add for high ground. Being in Sleek. Oh, he's still got it. Taking out Gucci on the cart there. Clean rail to the body. I mean, hey, first fight, the win.
I mean, I don't know if you saw what Charge of Lords was at there, but everyone's skedaddled. Everyone was like, "Nope, I'm good. I'm out. He can have the high ground for the time being. He's at 100 charge. No, thank you."
We also talked about how Jesper has to mark the Tracer here, and that's exactly what we're doing. Digging around, hunting, molding his best path to Gucci on the side there. He knows that Gucci is going to be the best option to push Car out moving on to the Jericho, so there's no point having a break here because, well, there's no dive per se, or not much of a dive coming out from ERUS, but Sneak gets caught out there, maybe overstaying his welcome, getting greedy for pick there, but can they turn it around? Bolter, number of HP, no, gets caught by
We're able to get the not early but not late pick here onto Volta, and now we just have a Jesper trying to run away with his life. He does manage to get out via Zarya bubble, but Tixel and Sleek are both very muchly struggling on HP. The Kitsune rush getting invested.
No!
And Sleek drops. Sleek drops, and his entire team is right behind him. Ooh, that is not the greatest picks to be seeing.
Yeah, I mean, 3 ults from TA, only 1 from ERUS, because they had no more available. Those late staggers, those kind of fights were really messy, really sloppy for them. They couldn't, snowball back the ult charge, and TA pretty breezily take first point here. I mean, this second point with the new staircase, you can draw a lot more heavily from it, but again, they're pretty unorthodox. It seems like, no, they're going to abandon the higher ground, maybe just try and fight on the point directly here. Lars is a bit stranded. We'll get some care eventually. ERUS do have a big ult advantage here, but again, it's so difficult to see how they're going to use it. Maybe they're going to match the rush and they can't get overclock in its place.
I mean, it's kind of hard to match the Sleek overclock, especially whenever he's overclocking your backline. Getting the first pick on Alba, but Tama just using the monkey to his advantage, monkeying around, jumping left, right, and center. There's nothing stopping this guy. Where did his peanut butter go? Who stole it?
Yeah, well, I mean, Lars did steal a fair bit of the point for Jesper as well. Just digging around, being the nuisance he loves Leo so much, and will eventually get out. But that, and ERUS didn't expend any ultimates apart from the overclock, but TA have been building back to all the ones they extended. Sleek moving over onto the Cassie, one bit more pressure on the camera. It's not going to let him get that monkey business thriving again. Get him heavily taxed indeed, and Lars bunkering inside all these little small objective rooms to try and slow the cut if possible. But the beat shows they want to go in and want to be aggressive right now.
Going in very, very aggressively, and Tama gets caught inside of the Zarya.
No way.
But is bubbled, and Tixel actually is the first one to drop, but Jesper is still there. He's still digging around, if anything. He's still getting eliminations. He's going around just like an absolute madman, but he is able to, if anything, stabilize.
Yeah, spawn advantage here. A little bit, well, quite a bit so for ERUS, so we're able to hold on and Texel the fadeaway pick that on. This guy's just been clipping any wings that you have in the air. Manicure Fire on Echo, he will be there to bring you down to earth. I mean, ERUS, they know exactly how they want to play this. It's a lot of credit, like we said, to Tavish, the coach, for making them just play their comfort, play they want to do, deny the typical historic style. Now TA, they have to adapt to this, and kind of fumbling to their momentum has been really heavily stalled on this second point.
The problem now here for TA is ERUS have full high ground control. There's really not much they can do. Tama does have the monkey enragement enabled, but he doesn't have the high ground to deal with. And in fact, he's actually looking to try to get them to jump off height, which is exactly what happens. And the Cassidy is caught out. He's getting juggled. He has to pop High Noon to stay alive, which he actually does manage to do.
That's insane. You can see also the perk coming into play, Lars. You know, you have to be scared in the past for hopping down on Zarya because you're not able to get back up. But the jump up perk he has, giving them extra mobility vertically to just, juggle between the point and whatnot. And now it's gone to like 45 seconds left on the clock here. ERUS still have a grab, still have a rush coming up, have a beat to TA though, bring up on full ults of their own.
TA having the ult in their favor very muchly, but ERUS is ready to go in immediately. Album been dropped already. The Kitsune Rush invested as well, but which team will be able to come out on top as the Nano also invested? The first one to drop has been copied. Will he be able to win the Zarya 1v1? It's possible. In fact, actually grabs them, getting an elimination, almost getting 2 eliminations. They have 6 seconds to touch the point, which I almost guarantee they will. They do get the last second touch, but they have a monkey going bananas in their backline. Lucius has insane amounts of charge. Will he be able to stay alive long enough to survive this? It is very possible, but it's not going to happen. Oh, that is not great for ERUS.
Kuno and Tama looking like Batman and Robin at the end there, able to just sync up one last hit. Catching Jesper there especially was the nail in the coffin. He was so close to another ultimate coming up, and Tama also able to go to another primal in that entire fight. Still though, 1 minute left on the clock, and this should be in theory, the best point for ERUS to come through. TA don't even have time to go and make some kind of more brawly style swaps here. And they have Jesper sitting on shop to worry about as well, but not Sleek though, and the Primal as well. Now it's ERUS on the back foot here. Can Lars even stay alive? It's looking unlikely. Still gives his life attempt it.
ERUS
and they do have
to hold this here. They have 30 seconds left on the clock. They have their entire team already fully grouped up, but they need to get a touch. Will they be able to? 4 meters remaining. They do get the touch because Jesper is just that Diglett. He goes in deep. Will he be able to get a pick on the backline? No, he will not. In fact, he gets ancinated straight to the Crondolium. Will they get the beat off? They
catch Sleek,
but it doesn't catch the people that is needed. In fact, he actually dies himself. And ERUS do not hold third point.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just like last time again. They knew they could have held it first. They could have held it second. They could have held it third. But they know they want to get the people what they want, which is more ERUS gameplay, more Lars on the Zarya, the Laria, the Jesper swag on the Venture 2. And they're just giving them 6 seconds to work with for TA. But ERUS been really impressive stuff on the defense here. Just playing it really well, punishing the dive super heavily, having a lot of their own pressure on the point. The perks enabling that super well. It's not a bad situation to be in there. It's still what it could have been. The third point, I think, was the most disastrous there. They were so just a little bit behind in terms of the ults. Swag, I'm not getting the value from his. But they'll get another chance here. They're going to be back on the same composition it looks like, but now on the attack here. So it's interesting to see how they play around all these high grounds. I imagine just like leave someone point and try and just brawl up the high grounds themselves there. I have to imagine, but TA should know what's coming and should be able to adapt to it pretty quickly now that it's been a whole round of defense on Dorado here.
Maybe they're going to get Jesper to jump up onto that high ground and dash them off so that they can force the brawl.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the other issue, or the other plan there is just really try and force point, but all these high ground angles, the Ana nades, the Kiriko side angles, Lauren and Gucci able to just kind of sync up with their hits as well. Quite difficult, but they have a good crossfire set up here. Tama's going to juggle back and forth in his high grounds, Gucci as well. Seems to be the latter, like what you said, so they're going to try and just force the point here. No, actually, they're trying to get a rotation high ground, I think, as well. And we're doing a bit of both, it feels like, just exploring their options.
Lures having no charge right now is not the biggest threat on the battlefield, unlike a big old Tama jumping into the backline, but Jesper getting the bubble as per usual. Tama has to immediately peel back for the monkey, and he actually is going to get completely chased down. Peach will not far behind him in the death feed. Gucci is doing absolutely everything he can to hold down that little area, and it's working out in his favor.
Yeah, I mean, I referenced Batman and Robin earlier, but right now it is TA prowling from the rooftops, descending onto the criminals, daring not to play a monkey mirror on Dorado. Lars finally full charge, but I was so surprised. I saw the entire TA drop right into where Arius wants them, but it was by the point they already drained all their notable resources. Make a difference, and yet again, Jesper gets caught out, just trying to fumble around on this ground, trying to force it. There's so much pressure coming out from today's high ground.
High ground advantage on Dorado is very, very strong. In fact, Bama going into a little bit of a backdoor crevice as Sleek does drop to a headshot from Alba. Alba's taking heads just as much as everyone else is, but Lars once again being at full charge. He has the high ground in his advantage, but he also has a nano on his head. Or Lauren also has a nano on his head.
Yeah, I mean, like, even when Arius able to get out to positions on a brawl from, TA have the ult, they have their own mini brawl to work with, and the back line and the entire way there, getting bullied up the grab onto Akuna. A little bit overkill, but hey, a kill is a kill here, and surely Jesper collects Alba there as well, and it looks like TA's hold on this bus will be broken. Never mind, Tama thinks it's winnable. Able to get one and out with his life too. His Vultures in the... Oh, Sleek! Where is Sleek gone? Oh, that's tragic. The main damage now is down. Tama clinging on for life. Vulture still has the beat, and now just like is in the back line. ERUS gonna try and win this here, and now even being down. And just doing the job.
Hey Jesper, you forgot to check your watch. It's high noon, buddy.
Yeah, he missed that alarm, and there's a bomb.
Oh, well, there goes a Lars. Lars drops right after he does, but at this point, CA's defense is looking very, very strong. And the only real thing that can break through this defense is going to be Jesper doing his job, which he's been very much hindered from doing.
Oh my goodness, Lars! Just explodes again. The shout, I'm not even sure they have time to employ it, and yep, there goes the shock. I mean, the pulse on thrown out there as well. Lars again just sent to the wind, and that was it. ERUS' best chance to win this is pretty much down the drain. Takuno has a nano boost now to work with, and Tama should always be the recipient here as well. ERUS have to get a touch coming through. Sleek now being dived on by nano boost. Gone as well. ERUS to have someone on the cart, which means it's practically a 3v5. The rest of the back line trying to huddle for warm, but next will take that Tama. That's a big pick. They have a spawn advantage. Lars takes one as well. They're putting Lars on the point though, but Jesper's going crazy.
Gucci on the very low HP. He has to hold the point. It's just him versus the world. Will he be able to hold it for long enough? No, he does not. ERUS managed to get the first point.
You're welcome, ERUS. I cursed them so hard. I was like, it's so over, guys. They have nano boost. ERUS have no ult. It's GG's. But somehow T8 fumbled themselves into position where Lars able to brawl on the point and onto the squishies. So much coming out there, coming up with Exo to get everyone solo, getting a trade to come through. And yeah, ERUS very happy to eat my words, I'm sure, there, and get themselves onto second point with 2 minutes to work with.
It's a lot better than 3 seconds, especially when, yes, we're getting extremely low on HP because he almost forgot to check his alarm that time. Luckily, he did look at the phone just in time to see what time it was. Able to dash behind cover and barely save his life.
Coming out from Lars, there's the hit now from TA, and they baited them in there, playing themselves right on the knife's edge. Laura drops down, trying to finish some kills. Maybe a nice knife there. I think it's actually a good knife that Lars brings down. And out, Volta with the beat alive. Tamashine turns one around, gets a nano boost as well, and a beat on top of it. Give me the rush and Texel, because he give us life to get online. Ooh.
Oh my.
Hey.
Well, we just went from 1 PFP to second PFP of Lars going absolutely bananas in the backline as per usual. By the way, did you notice whenever he had both the beat and the nano online while in Primal, he had over 2,000 HP?
Yeah, that was just ridiculous there. But Sleek, Kana as well, get some silly business going. We'll out Lauren there with the shot and the disruptor. Arius are looking strong at the moment, losing Tex, losing Alba. Arius fully come back from the grave, swinging here, slingshotting themselves across the second point. 2 minutes to work with. They could overtake TA's time back, which is insane to think about if you compare their first point defense.
Yeah, first point defense was definitely a lot stronger for TA. Luckily, ERUS was able to break through that defense, break down that rock wall that was TA, and now they're already onto third point after just about 45 seconds of fighting, but Volta already drops first. Lauren pulled down from the high ground, but will it be enough to pull the win into their favor? As of right now, no, it is not, as Jesper also falls late in the fight. Lars now needs to get out with his life, but Lauren also has sights on the back line.
Yeah, I mean, Arius now have a bit of a difficult situation. What? Jesper's going to go over onto Genji. I think maybe even had a shot, finding it's not worth getting through. We're going to try and just force the point for a bit, sending out Jesper onto the high ground to duel Lauren. Gucci falling low on the far here as well. Arius' only ult online at the moment is that beat. Want to use it as a response rather than an aggressive pull here, I think. They don't really have the position to do that. The high noon, it's going to be a good kite away by Arius there. It's just playing with fire. I saw the skull and that was quite something.
I saw the skull as well, my friend, and I was like, I don't think you want to be doing that, Volta. You're playing with something you probably really don't want to. But the Kitsune being unleashed, Nano Boost also being dropped. But Sleek, as per usual, just doing his thing, deleting the enemy team with the overclock, does get the first kill. But they need to fully push this point with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. Lars does drop. No. That is a humongous pick, and ERUS GG drops just about everyone. Oh, that is a humongous loss for them.
I mean, it was a very impressive comeback, I think, on this point in general. TA super heavily favored to win it, given their kind of player pools and hero comforts. Arius, yeah, just falling short at the end. Couldn't get the gas online. Sleek, the Suzu denied the kill onto the Ana. Gotta be feeling pretty sad about that one. The overclock was their best chance. Once they were firing on all cylinders, couldn't find the last hits. Yeah, that's a rough way to end the second map. 2-1 to TA, but it is now going to be ERUS map pick. That said, you need to win this one, obviously, but ending the best of 5 on the enemy's map pick is not the situation you want to be in. TA are right now kind of sitting pretty comfortable, knowing that they're going to have their map pick to end things up if they need it, if they can't take it all here and now. Arius as well, though, I mean, they have push to go to, right? If they want to be, I don't know, like, I think their push, every time I've seen it, it's been super, super, super impressive. And I believe that if they can go to another map type now and leave push for last, maybe they can, I mean, it's mostly been Esperanza. They've been, like, able to full cap that every single time, which in ranked is insane. But in, like, Masters, FACEIT Masters division here, it's just bonkers. Maybe they leave that last one, the last possible pick, so that any map they pick from TA, they'll feel confident. I'm not 100% sure, though, so we'll have to see where they end up going and if Arius can stay strong and get us coming back with a 3-2 here. It's been a hell of a ride. They came in barely squeaking in into the standings, finishing up at 8th place with a 8-7 record, just beating out Gas Tier 3. Ending up into the playoffs, being set to losers bracket, making quite a nice run, a 3-2 against SR Peach. Like a 3-2 here against TA, a team that, number 1 in the standings, sent them here in the first place, the last 2 in the regular season, would be such an amazing, standing, such an amazing achievement here from all of the boys on Arius.
I mean, as you were saying earlier about those map picks, though, they do decide to go push here on the Colosseo, leaving TA to, I'm pretty sure Flashpoint is the last map they are able to pick. I'm not going to lie, not the greatest look for ERUS. As we all know, they are very, very strong on push. They're not the strongest on Flashpoint.
I'm going to be honest, I cannot remember if this is the sort of map pool that combines it into Clash, which is when you combine, or like not when you
I'm
combine
pretty sure Clash is
Flash and Push.
completely out of play. Right.
Oh, then yeah. But there's some kind of map pools that will. No, the map pool. Oh no, it is. It's no, Flashpoint is the only map on. Sorry, is the only map available for Flashpoint, so maybe they've combined it into Push. Honestly, cannot remember how it like works with the system, but regardless, here going to Colosseo over Esperanza, they looked really good in Esperanza every time I've seen them. I'm interested to see what they do over here on Colosseo. I'm imagining Zarya Queen. That's kind of it, right? You're banning the Winston, makes me think maybe you might go towards more of the Zarya angle. Or the Queen is, you'd look pretty good. The Zarya was the one that you won your map on. You lost the Queen into the Ram on control. And I believe the other ban was Kiriko from the side of TA. So imagining we'll be seeing here some kind of mix of Juno Lucio, Juno Brig.
Honestly, if they do, or since they did ban that Kiriko, it wouldn't surprise me if we see an Ana for those anti-grenades. If Lars does go for that Junker Queen, completely shutting down any advancement with those anti-grenades could be huge for TA.
Yeah, and I think especially with the Juno in play, like you want to play a lot more stacked, right? You don't have the Kiriko that can go on deep off angles, TP out, be chilling, kind of just lobby out then from the side flanks. But Juno needs to be more protected, needs to be playing more kind of in a brawlier style. I think also I have to see that maybe they go. I don't really know what Hammers hero pool is. There's no Winston available. So maybe like a Diva, but you're running Diva into either Queen or Zarya. We'll have to see. 10 seconds into what could be the final map. Again, ERUS playing to stay alive in this lower bracket here for FACEIT. We'll see what we're starting to run here in just a moment. It's going to be that Zarya versus the Ramattra. Yet again, bringing back classic Eichenwald.
We do have Eichenwald 2.0 going on here, but in Lars' advantage, they do have Jesper on the Venture once again. So they do have that backline brawl, but at the same time, they also have a Gucci on that Pharah to shut down anything Jesper does try to do.
Yeah, Albert as well starting up on this Brig, pocketing Gucci up as well. Also, gonna get some boops in on Jesper's flank to disrupt that value. Gucci already been poked out so much, and here's this neutral fight. This first fight is absolutely massive, probably the most important fight in his time out. It comes down to who can get the early lead, so a lot of pressure on both teams, who can start the strongest here.
I don't know if you saw that bubble on Jesper, but holy crap did that just explode. And already Sleek doing his duty, immediately popping Gucci like a balloon, turning him into flying parts. And TA already having to back up immediately.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to see an investigation here. Sleek is clearly left gonna have a magnet on Gucci's head because every single first fight has felt like it's open with a headshot onto that Pharah. Not anything to target, very simple to deal with, but early taking all areas here. Just flag lurking underneath, not able to access the backline just yet. We'll have to see how they can up that hit. Right now, areas are in the driver's seat of this match, even if it's only just by 20 meters. Still.
Lead in their favor. What will they be able to do with it? Pardon my English there for a second. But Tama already trying to build up this annihilation as fast as possible, getting just below 60% or just below 70%. On ERUS' side, though, Lars having extremely low ult charge. Gucci getting low on HP as well. But Jesper getting poked out and dying for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Lars getting forced back horse bubble himself. Instead, Gucci getting some revenge. Yeah, this is Colosseo for you all, ladies and gentlemen, one and all. But there's the thing, a rage change from here. And oh my goodness, Lars has found two out of nowhere. Powered up and playing up right now, punching well above his weight class, taking out 3 members of TA. Tama trying to get up to his own character as well, throwing some punches, but the haymaker ends in ERUS' favor, knocking TA down in that exchange. I came out of nowhere. I thought that fight was over, but clearly Texto and Lars saw an opportunity that my mortal eyes.
I mean, the gods laugh when the humans plan, as Loki says in Marvel Rivals. But this is not Marvel Rivals. This is Overwatch. And this is Lars' game to win. As Sleek already getting destroyed by the overclock. In fact, Lauren's looking for a more case. Does get a double, maybe even a triple. He gets the triple last second on Jesper.
Yeah,
that's not the greatest feeling.
I mean, the Volta's beat might have been enough there. That's an orbital overclock, and maybe even the lead taken here. ERUS don't give up easily, and Gucci in the line of fight at the moment. The lead has been taken, even only by a few meters. That can be enough to win the game or lose it. Rallying aggressively now, though. Grab in response. And Gucci even gets caught in it. I don't know how that happens.
I mean, it's not very Gucci whenever you're stuck in a grab, especially whenever you're a flyer, and you have a basically full charge Lars running at you, just non-stop.
Yeah, it has been not a second that Lars has let his foot off the accelerator at the moment. Grab expended though. It's going to be Gucci's Mirage that is TA's poison of choice versus Jesper Swag yet again with Big Shock. He's going in aggressive there. Gets a bubble as well. No kills to come through just now, but Hammer has been isolated and Lars is going in and he's found Lauren.
But he also sacrifices himself in the process. Brigitte being extremely low on HP, but Jesper getting caught out as well. The team needs to skedoodle or die on the point, trying to stall as long as possible, which they are able to do, but also infected with humongous staggers.
Yeah, ERUS just got to split. Lars wanted to go super aggressive, and Texel Volta were not able to pull up. They were so close to beat as well. Tama did a great job of splitting the team there, and Gucci's mere presence with his barrage always a thought in the back of your mind. They can't walk too deep. And in fact, Jesper, it's so much in his mind, he's going to move on to the Pharaoh himself now as well. But Texel, Akuno, they're neck and neck in terms of orbital ray charge here, but here have a lot more to throw into the mix. Fight away should result in almost a free exchange there, but no, Lars gets caught right at the last.
Lars getting caught out is humongous for all of these fights for TA. Every single time he has died first, TA has won the fight. Every time he has survived, ERUS wins the fight. Honestly, Lars is kind of looking like the win con here.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get Lars high energy and alive, importantly, he will tear through the lobby. And that's one of them done there, but the second part, oh my goodness, able to be bailed out there, Sleek with the headshot. Right where you need it, but TA yet again, just another ult advantage here. Wait, no, never mind. ERUS just invested the rate and still lost that. TA just pulled that out of Magician's hat somehow.
I mean, it was just April Fool's. Maybe they're just a few days late on it. But either way, Lars is running around with just over 40 HP. It looks like he's trying to run away with the robot as TA is kiting back, trying to regroup fully and take a team fight with everyone in the fight. But Jesper needs to win the aerial duel. That is their #1 job right now. But the question is, will they be able to do it?
Lars does have the ground response though, so they'll be around trying to keep them alive and overclock to make that defense also have a strong offense. But it's going to all come down to that grab. Can they get how energy they need? Can Jesper get the poke into it to secure the kills? Or will Lawrence overclock find the opening pick?
Opening pick is needed, but I thought that robot was a graviton. I will not lie, that robot stopped immediately and completely bamboozled me, but not as much as Lars is bamboozling the defense with 85 charge. He does have sight on the back one. He has 2 in the grab. Make that 3, but the rally is invested, saving everyone.
Yeah, the shield from Alba just too strong, and Sleek has fallen as will being such a distant memory. DA as well only invested the rally back there. Jesper was not on the angle deep enough. He couldn't get the side to poke into that grab and secure the kills. Couldn't get Barrage going into it either as well. DA now at a 50+ meter lead with these early spawns, with this checkpoint areas. They have double support ults. They have 4 ults coming out. They need to win fights in a row now.
Well, it's going to be hard to lose a fight whenever you have 90 charge on Lars. But will the Zarya be able to come out of absolutely nowhere? Talk about a jump scare. Holy crap. As Lars pops into the abyss and Sleek just doing his normal, getting the triple kill, securing the team fight win for them. But they only have 2 minutes to push it over 60 meters.
And how many ults to work with? A big fat 0. Only 60% coming up to the Graviton Surge, but Gucci and Tama both have those check marks ready to go. And they need to win this fight basically for free here with as minimal casualties as possible to keep this rolling. What, 2, 3, even 4 fight wins in a row here. And Gucci with this Barrage still coming back to that whiff shot to Kuno. Could have been it there. The area still have to now look for something here. Ideally without ultimate and ideally keeping Lars alive.
I will say Lars 90% of the time, as soon as he pops his bubbles,
That's
he just
what
pops
you
like a
need.
balloon. But at the same time, Tama is just running through ERUS, getting a double kill, getting the triple kill. The big purple hug is here to stay. And in fact, it is going for more. Lars getting eliminated. Tama taking out all of them by himself. The big purple hug is just not something to be messed with.
Cheeky little break dash spot there as well for our viewers to see there coming out from Alba, but oh no, Gucci, don't do it. I don't want to see that. Just keep showing me brick spots instead. No flanking barrages, but a big grab is what you want to see for Arius fans there. The resulting barrage gets nothing. Arius, they win a fight pretty cleanly, only using the power ton, but still, rather everything can actually, to be fair, TA did invest 2 ults. Arius, a sigh of relief, but you want to take every breath you can at the moment as you'll be holding it soon. Overtime, 14 seconds away. You'll have to win fights back to back to back. Minimal casualties, minimal ults as well. Only Overclock and Feet on the horizon. TA only have the Overclock soon coming up as well. Sleep going aggressive, needs to find something quick here. Can't get traded either, but he will. This is Swag though, finding 2. Gucci, you cannot find a 3rd kill. No, Volta will take him out. Big trades have come through. Your textile has fallen. Hammer surely soon to go there, but Arius have lost a few members. No wave spawn either with overtime triggered. Big ult invested there from Sleek as well. What?
Wait,
what? Oh my god. Okay, what on earth? Okay.
I think Arius thought they had to lead there for a second. I'm not gonna lie.
They cannot afford to shake up here. Bolt needs to get back with the beat. Just like needs to come big shot. Can't actually having witnessed like 2 more fights in a row, and TA are also building an immense time bank here. And there's one of them, the overclock, tumbling into Lars. The beat comes out. Only can come 2. No one else with the areas gets it. Swag needs to come up big. Text will invest orbital raid. Even if they win this fight, it's still gonna rough, and Tama has something to say about that anyway. There's the later Ray, it kills Sleek. Bolter next on the shopping block area, staring down elimination from FACEIT Masters. And they will Hammer's last few fists, wave them away, and Arius go down 3-2-1.
A lot closer series than their last one with TA though, as they were able to take that second map actually into their favor, but just TA had so much more brawl than Eris did. Jesper just was not able to get into the backline like he wanted to, and just overall, Eris did not look like they were really having a good time.
Yeah, well, that is unfortunately Arius eliminated from the FACEIT Masters season number 4 here to the number 1 seed. To TA, they will advance into the lower bracket finals. And Arius, I think an earlier end than some of us saw, but considering the shaky start they had, it's been one hell of a slingshot to make it here. It looks really good. They really defined their identity on the Zarya, on the Queen, with that Jesper Swag adventure. It was a delight to see from this roster. So many good pieces coming together. Boltsa Pingu, great rotation of the main supports, very flexible, very smart players. Texo as well, super impressive on the Kiriko. We saw a lot of aerial shots come out. And of course, Jesper Swag and Sleek, super flash DPS players, and Lars to find the whole thing to spearhead. What a roster, what a run, and what a way to end it there. Some big plays coming out, but unfortunately not just enough. And I mean, who are you gonna give very prestigious, of course, MVP map, MVP of the season, series, sorry.
Of the series, it's very close between Sleek and Lars to me. Just Lars running through people with that 100 charge, it's just hard to stop that. Unless you explode him, which is very difficult with how good Lars is with keeping those bubbles up. But at the same time, Sleek getting those first picks for just about every single fight is humongous for ERUS. They just weren't quite able to capitalize off of them.
Yeah, well, luckily we will be seeing more of ERUS in the future. They get top 4 this season, still super impressive. Super great comeback. A clean $15,000 as well for their pocket money, and qualified, of course, for season 5 into the future there. So we'll have to see what ERUS hold for us then. But yeah, that is going to be it from us on this ERUS broadcast. I think I have to agree with you, Sleek or Lars. It's too difficult. I don't want to give the whole team MVP. They're an absolute delight to watch, and looking to see more of them in the future. But if you need final closing words for us, Face for Mace, that'll be all from me.
I mean, other than just congratulations to ERUS to in overall making it this far, as they were looking very, very down in the dumps at the beginning of the season, and were able to make it back to the top 4 in the Masters division. That is just an incredible feat from where you started out. You can't be mad. Keep your heads held high and bring the pain next season. Lars, stick with that Zarya, because we all know you are a pain in the butt to deal with at 100 charge. But either way, I've been Face the Mace. That is Native to my right. Bonobo behind the scenes. Vessel with the absolutely monstrous observation, if I may say. It's been ERUS GG, sadly ending their season with a 3-1 loss to TA. We will be seeing you guys next season with some more FACEIT League Masters Division with ERUS GG.